The question is whether these programs you've outlined here and these surveys, whether they are emanating from perhaps requests from 2025, for instance, or maybe earlier. One, are there a backlog of such requests? And the second question I want to ask is whether there is what is the backlog on applications for state lands?
Honourable Minister.
I can only say that in 2025, under the surveys that were listed to be done in regularization, that all were completed 100%, so that there are, in the 2025, there were 11 cadastral surveys, occupational and cadastral surveys, as well as leveling and others, one on block occupation and subdivision survey. These were all completed 100%. I'm not aware that there are any outstanding ones that are still from 2025, I'm to be advised. And so once these are what is coming up for the lands and surveys to look at based on the statements by the Cabinet and President of what lands we want to open up for agriculture, for example, the promise of 1,000 acres for agriculture and other areas.
And the question on the...
And there may be requests coming from different, like Ministry of Agriculture or another ministry that would go through Cabinet, and once Cabinet issues that approval, would then go to the Lands and Surveys Commission for the survey to be done.
And on the question of any backlog for general applications?
We don't keep backlog applications. It's a letter of interest. So we have over 30,000 letter of interest.
This is housing or agriculture or both?
I have over 30,000 requests for land in Region 4.
Okay, I'm advised that the area where there's the largest letters of interest, not applications, but letters of interest, mainly are at Region 4, and there are 30,500 odd such requests. These are letters of interest, not applications. Letters of interest. They are working on the other regions, and therefore it doesn't appear to be a backlog in the other regions, but Region 4 is one of the larger regions with the largest population. One would expect to have quite a lot of demands on the lands and surveys.
Thank you, Minister.
A follow-up, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead, Honourable Member, Mr. Duncan.
On the same subject matter, I noted that in the recent past there was requests for some housing schemes and so on, and the sense was that they had to approach your entity, Lands and Surveys, for surveying of those areas. I was just wondering whether there is, from the Lands and Survey end, perhaps in the process, a national housing audit of lands that are available, or maybe a housing inventory might be the best way to put it. Since we seem to be going in this direction over the next few years, is it being done on a case-by-case basis? The Ministry of Housing wants to open a new housing scheme, and then they approach your entity, Lands and Surveys, for surveying of this specific area here.
Honourable Minister.
Yeah. Agencies may request land, for example, agriculture or even education or health for schools and or CHMPA. Once those are approved, the requests are there, and it's requested through Cabinet, then it would go to the Lands and Surveys to look for land. Because some cases you have to look for land. You may not have land where you want it. For example, even an example of the hospitals that are being built, one has to look for, in some cases, new land and has to be assigned for that purpose. So